All right. So we recently just got a filing. Well, a few filings. We had the filing that was the official, rejection, denying of Bryan Kohberger's motion to dismiss the case based off of the grand jury's improper instructions. We already had a ruling on this. The ruling was already there. That's nothing new. He just said, the judge said he was going to follow up with a written order, right?
Yep.
That was done, what month was that? It's been, months since that ruling was made in court. And he just finally followed up. And then we saw a scheduling order. Right
From
after
the
this.
prosecution,
And in between those two filings, we saw an official date for the demolition of the home for December 28th. Right now, it's December 22nd when we're recording this. You guys are going to be seeing this after, but I want to know what you guys think about the house being demolished or if they cancel it. If you're seeing this after the fact, come tell past me what you think about that. How it ends up turning out, because I'm super curious how this is going to turn out. If they're going to last minute delay it, or if they're going to demolish it.
I think they're demolishing it.
It's interesting. We have this it's like things all of a sudden just started moving.
Yeah.
It was like a dead stop. Still waters, nothing. And then we're demolishing the home. Here's your follow-up about why we denied your order to dismiss or motion to dismiss. And then...
You know what's coming up, right?
Huh.
Springtime student whatever, where new students are signing up for the college, and I bet you anything their numbers are down, and Green is like, oh shoot, and I don't want to be unfair here. Is there a lot of weird stuff that he's done? Absolutely. I have some major weird questions why, that family only gave to one of the victims and not others. There's a lot of things. But I think that his initial reaction was genuine. He was up on the stand during one of those first press conferences crying, and I do think it's genuine. But people need to understand that humans move forward. We're never stagnant. We're either moving forward or falling backwards, and it's one or the other. His number one priority is that school. Period. Number one. And what is the one thing that keeps that running? Money over everything, okay? Even if there's drops in students, as long as there's the financial aspect there to keep it running, they can keep it running. That is the most important thing, and I don't even fault him for that. But taking that into account, he is going to make the decisions that are best for that school's pockets. And again, I don't fault him for it necessarily. It depends on... I'll fault him depending on how important that is. If that the financial aspects are more important than someone's livelihood, then we have problems. But, I wouldn't expect anything less than a huge importance on finances. So. No,
I absolutely agree with you, and I think that is the most important thing to Scott Green and a lot of the officials in Moscow, Idaho. But this was filed yesterday, December 21st, by Ashley Jennings, this motion for scheduling order. And in it, they basically say they want to have a summer trial. That way that the students aren't, high school students and college students aren't in session. And this will alleviate concerns over parking, pedestrian safety, and the local high school is right next to the courthouse. Also, it would free up hotel rooms for people visiting town during the proceedings. But, and it also, was talking about all the pretrial deadlines, all of the things they need to get done to get this going.
Yeah.
Jury, all that stuff. All the deadlines for all of those things, including, discovery, expert disclosures, witness list, pretrial motions. Witness list.
Yeah, and A lot of people took what I was saying wrong the other night, too, with the financial aspect, saying that I think they want to tear down the house because it's all about money. And I think a lot of people are overlooking the point that there are multiple demographics that Scott Green is having to be concerned with.
Sure.
So the student body base or signups can be down because the Greek life hate that house there. Hate it, okay? So if you have somebody that is has a lineage of being in Sigma Chi, okay, and they already know they're gonna get into the fraternity, and because that house is there, because the additional attention in that area, all that stuff, they have friends that are like, yo, don't go to college here. I'm transferring. I'm leaving. I'm going to Boise or whatever like that. He has to do what's best for the majority of the current student body base and what's best for the town. So I think that you can have multiple different directions of ways to go in that, right? Because a college is still making money on the students when they're away on break. But by clearing up space for out-of-towners to come in, you're making extra room for more people to come in and put more money in your town.
So here's a thought I had. You know, do you think it's weird that the house was gifted to the president, the university, by the owner, the LLC?
I don't, but I understand how taxes work.
Okay, I don't think it's about taxes. What I think it's about is that in several true crime cases that I've looked at, and this is what sparked this thought, there have been situations like we talked about in Florida fires. The mother sued the house owner over fire alarms. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, there's also issues even with stabbings where somebody broke in where people, victims' families, will try to sue landlords.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, was there something wrong with the home?
I mean, there was. The back lock.
Yeah. Was there something wrong with the home? Maybe even more than the backlog. Who knows? Where he was like, ooh, I'm just going to give this to you. Scott Green, I will give you this piece of property as long as you tear it down and get it out of my name, and I don't want nothing to do with it.
Maybe.
Because so I can't get sued. You promise to tear it down so nobody finds out this thing that's wrong with it.
I think people put a lot of emphasis on being sued, but when you're a business, you have insurance for that. So I don't think being sued is as big of a deal as people try and make it seem. Because your insurance covers that. It doesn't affect you personally. So when it comes to the house, I don't think anyone would just give a house away. That's not happening. What they got to do is they were able to write off an entire year's worth of rent and the current value of the home.
Okay. Well, I didn't even think about that. Okay. I didn't know that about taxes. So another interesting thing, moving on from, that, is that the prosecution, which we didn't even get into this on stream when we were going over this document, but we can here and now, the prosecution also asked the judge not to extend Kohberger's deadline for providing his alibi. The state submits that the defendant has already been afforded this opportunity, and the court heard argument on the motions relating to such.
Wait, they're trying to stop him from giving an alibi?
Yeah. The state submits the opportunity for the defendant to disclose an alibi and notify the state of the same has passed, and asks that the court not reopen this issue.
That means that there's something there. Otherwise, I don't think they would bring it up.
So
that's so messed up, dude.
My thoughts are, I get they're playing, that's a little dirty, just because if...
Super dirty.
Kohberger if he is innocent, okay, He may not have provided his alibi for several factors, which can include, expecting to have a witness and them not. Not being able to get a hold of them, not being able to find them, or many other things. I've heard lawyers talk about this before, what could cause that, and later, the lawyer talked about it, and how later, if Kohberger were to come to the judge and say, I have a witness for my alibi, I have proof of my alibi, that if the judge were not to accept that, even if it was way past the deadline, that he, in the interest of justice, he should absolutely take it, or else that sets up that. Well, it's at the judge's discretion.
Yeah, I don't agree.
He doesn't have to, but if he doesn't take the alibi, then he is a shoo-in to get exonerated later in an appeal.
That's exactly my point. He literally has to. Okay, sure, you can make the decision and say that we're not going to hear your alibi, but you don't have an option. You are going to make your entire career look bad. Your own judgment is going to be brought into question here. And here's the thing too, and I don't want to get too far. I know this is just a breaking news update on one of the cases, but so the prosecution has been suffocating the defense. And I'm not trying to say they're doing anything illegal. When I say that somebody's doing something wrong, it doesn't mean that it's illegal. Those are two different things. There's morally wrong, and then, and morally wrong, in my opinion, still can be within the bounds of the law. But everywhere the defense goes, the prosecution follows every single time. And it looks like, in my opinion, that they're checking up on their work. They're preventing the defense from mounting a good defense. I've seen it in court already. I've seen it outside of court. When they went into the house, the prosecution followed right after. If you don't think that's not to try and figure out what they were looking at to see if there were any marks on there, I mean, honestly, if I was the defense, I would be trying to I would bring in one of those devices that you can buy on Amazon for $150 that picks up any electronic signals. I would have brought it with me to make sure there's no cameras or anything like that, with how hard the state is going.
Also, the FBI, Bill Thompson asking the FBI to go talk to Vargas after she testified.
Yeah, absolutely. And but within that, I think that. Wait, what were we just talking about?
Are you for real?
Yeah.
That the state keeps following defense, trying to prevent them from mounting a good defense.
Yeah. But the original point, I was trying to make a point, and I don't remember what it was.
Okay, well, I was just talking about how they were stopping him from giving his alibi. Yeah. And you're saying the judge has to.
Yeah. I just think the judge does have to. I think that all we've seen is the prosecution suffocating them. And in my opinion, what Kohberger was trying to do is prevent them from stopping that information from coming forward. And I thought that from the beginning, and I bet you can even go back to some of our live streams, and we were even talking about that, where Kohberger probably isn't giving his alibi like very specific details, because if I were him and if I'm truly innocent, I'm not saying he's truly innocent, I'm just saying in this theory I'm looking at it from the perspective of him being innocent. Let's say I'm Kohberger and I'm innocent, and I don't trust the police and investigators because I'm seeing shady stuff happen, because I know I wasn't there, but they're saying I was, and they're saying there's evidence there when I know I wasn't there. Do you think I would openly come forward and be like, oh yeah, here's my alibi, here's all the details, we just haven't been able to get a hold of this person and this person yet? No way, dude. I wouldn't have gave that, because then I would be worried that the police are going to go talk to him first and stop that from happening.
They're going to go either backfill or
intervene. Yeah. And I wouldn't let that happen if I was him. But
I see what you're saying. But yeah, it's interesting. We have this trial, this death penalty certified trial, coming this summer. This seems pretty official to me. This feels like the ball is actually in motion this time.
I sure hope so.
And I mean, it seems like they're planning everything. Whether you think it's weird that they're planning it in the summer for parking and hotels, so there's plenty of space for everyone, or not.
I do think it's weird. But look, everything revolves around money. You can care about someone and you can still care about money. Like, a lot of people have this or that idea, and I don't see a problem, but to pretend like they're not doing it to maximize the amount of people and income coming into the area, like, I just feel like someone that doesn't see that doesn't have a good understanding of business.
I can see it, but I feel like I just need a little bit more showing that. I just need a little bit more.
I mean, all you got to do is look at what is the gain in having a lot of people come there, and what's the cons? What's the gain of having minimal people come there, and what's the cons? Everybody in the world's going to see it. Whether you have 10 people come or 50 people come or 500 people come, everyone in the world's going to see it because of these right here.
True.
So might as well maximize the income.
Yeah. But anyway, I want to know what you guys think. About this filing, about it being this summer. I had a feeling it was going to be in 2024. I just kind of knew it was going to be. And everybody was saying, oh, it could be years. Never waived it. And I'm like, I don't think so, man. I'm pretty sure this is coming in 2024. And I was right, as always. Just kidding. I'm not always right. But
I'm never right.
Yeah, I want to know what you guys think about it.